Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we are playing Pinsir, the pure bug type Pokemon. Now Pinsir, looking at his base stats, going to be really heavy on the attacking side. But that's okay because obviously looking at its moveset here, we don't really have anything that is too crazy as far as special attacks or just attacks in general, really. One thing that Generation 1 lacks with the bug typing is just attacks in general. There aren't any bug types, and as you see, Pinsir gets none. But we have 65 in HP, 125 in attack, 100 in defense, 85 in speed, and 55 in special. Crit rate of 16.41%. We start off with just Vice Grip, which isn't a horrible move, but of course, Pinsir will suffer along with a lot of other Pokemon in that they have ineffective damage for Brock. It's okay, it shouldn't hurt Pinsir too much, but we are starting with just Vice Grip at 55 power, no same type. It's really unfortunate. I really kind of hate that, Generation 1 just didn't get any good attacks in some of the typings. Like, Bug is just extremely underrepresented. Like, all you have is like Leech Life, and is there even anything else? Just Leech Life, and that's the power of Leech Life is so bad. I mean, I believe they've increased the power of Leech Life in further generations to like 80, which is insane. But the bug type kind of needs it until we get stuff like, X Scissor and stuff like that, where actually, we can actually have some strong bug moves. I mean, you really don't have anything. So Pinsir is just going to be a strong physical attacker, and unfortunately we don't really have anything to deal with ghosts outside of just Seismic Toss. So that would be a struggle. Even with Mimic, it's like there's really not any good physical mimicking moves that I can get a hold of. So we're just going to have to get a hold of Seismic Toss. But Brock is up first. Like I said, we only have Vice Grip, so we're going to lose 8 points just for ineffectiveness. One thing that also is pretty unfortunate in this battle, I have no way of playing around Onix and its use of Bide. So thankfully, I actually get past the Geodude with pretty good health, doing pretty good damage to it because it's almost about 20 points behind Onix in defense, which is pretty good for me. But Onix can lower my defense with Screech, and it can also go for Bide and return a lot of the damage that I'm doing to it. So it's no other way around this other than just brute forcing your way through it and hoping that you don't get taken out with Bide, just like we do here. So we're getting through Brock on our first attempt, and Pinsir will have a score of 25 out of 33. Not really much you can do there. You just kind of have to take the point loss. No, we don't get Seismic Toss until 25. So there's nothing I can really do there. Good news is we've got Body Slam coming up soon. We'll be able to learn Swords Dance. So outside of Agatha, we can make really good use of, Swords Dance, Body Slam, Hyper Beam if we want once we get there. Mimic won't be too helpful, honestly, outside of maybe a few scenarios. So I'm not sure if it's even really worth putting on my set. Might pick up Submission as well, but let's see how Misty goes. For this fight, definitely want to come in here with Body Slam. It's got 30 more power than Vice Grip, and we also have the upside of Paralysis. And as you see there, we just make easy work of Misty. 3 turns, 3 Body Slams. She's down for the count. And that'll be 2 badges that we have now. So, for Misty, we get a score of 33 out of 33. And next up on the list, we have that Lieutenant named Surge. It's unfortunate that he really is as bad as he is. But I believe I can make him better, and I will make him better. Once I make my version of the the hardcore solo challenge, which, you know, the finalists, I'm going to take finalists from all typings. And all these Pokemon will get a chance to run through the hardcore solo challenge format. Depending on how that goes, I may make another ultra hardcore version that I have an idea for. But we'll see how that goes. I have ideas, but I kind of need to bring them to life to really see how they'll actually work. Because all I have is theories and hypotheticals, and that's kind of not enough to kind of see where I want that to go. So coming in the Surge just real quick. Just going to body slam him twice, take care of that. And yeah, I'm having a good time actually learning about how the game's coded and different things that I can do to kind of change and make changes and kind of, you know, some slice of life changes. Not slice of life, quality of life changes. And, you know, making Surge better would actually be pretty good. It'd be interesting to kind of give him... had I figured out kind of how the game's code worked before, maybe... Surge with good AI would actually be pretty devastating, especially for any Pokemon that's weak to him. He'd have some redemption. So I guess it's more so it's really, when you think about it in the term of the code, it's not really Surge's fault, it's his AI's fault. Erica can always be a problem if I do not take care of her Pokemon before they inflict status on me. Now, I went into this fight thinking that would be a problem, but I also went into this fight with Swords Dance, which kind of guarantees that I can one-shot all of her Pokemon. So I don't really know why I did that, to be completely honest. I didn't really need to, because I made really easy work of Erica. And that's just due to the fact that, you know, once you finish up the Rocket plot line, I'm in Celadon, and then head back over to Lavender Town and take care of them there. Once you have all that open, you can get access to Sylph in Saffron City, where you can pick up the TM for Swords Dance. So you definitely can have that move before you take on Erica. It's definitely something you can do. So we've got Koga, the poison type, up next, and he really doesn't have any strong poison moves, so I don't expect this to be difficult at all. We're going to come in here. We are going to, of course, set up with Swords Dance and take out his very defensively frail team. So that's going to be one Swords Dance. We get Toxic. We're not worried about Toxic. We're going to set up an extra Swords Dance, take that initial poison damage. And then we're just going to go for 4 body slams. And as you can see there, I actually had 4 body slams exactly. I did not restore my PP. But it worked out because we have Swords Dance. We can boost our attack by a lot, and we can get through that. So Toxic, no problem. Toxic actually, in that case, is sometimes just better because you don't have to worry about getting put to sleep, which is sometimes worse than getting badly poisoned. So now we can take care of everything in Sylph, get this cleared up so that we can take on Sabrina. Sabrina also not a fight that I would expect to struggle with. I don't have a weakness, and we know her Pokemon are also defensively frail, so that shouldn't be a problem. Pinsir doing pretty good up until now. We haven't lost any points since Brock, so I do like that. I do have Mimic on my set. There's not really anything else I can have outside of Body Slam, Swords Dance, and Seismic Toss. I could get Submission, but Submission, I'm kind of looking at that more so for Lorelei and her Pokemon, because Submission is essentially the only fighting type move that does fighting type damage. So that will be good for Lorelei, although it is not 100% accurate. But let's kind of take care of Jasmine real quick. Jasmine. Why do I call her Jasmine? This is Sabrina. Sabrina. I don't know how I get her, like, I don't know. Sabrina could, like, be a Jasmine to me, but, like, Jasmine's in Kanto. I don't know how I get those two mixed up. They don't even use the same type of Pokemon. How do I get those mixed up? But, yeah, like I said, really shouldn't have too much of a hard time against Sabrina. She does bring me down to 8, but that's okay. The reason I can't or didn't set up with Swords Dance is because Abra it just has flash and it can lower my accuracy and end up making this more of a pain than it should be. So I went ahead and just decided to forego setting up with Swords Dance. But in the case that I had any trouble, I could always just level up a little bit more over a few more damage rounding thresholds, and I would have been okay. So not a bad time against Sabrina. Not Jasmine, Sabrina. Now we head over to Blaine, where I think Blaine could be a problem, because I am weak to fire type moves, and if I get burned, my attack will get cut. So that's something that as a physical attacker, you always have to keep in mind. Like, you have to be like, okay, like, I can get burned, and that can like ruin everything for me, but it may not be too much of an issue. So we're going to head over into Blaine. He is going to lead with his Ninetales as usual. What I don't want to see is Confuse Ray, because, you know, if I set up with Swords Dance and I get confused, that confusion damage does calculate in those attack increases. So we do get hit with Confuse Ray. That's okay. I'm going to just continue attacking. And I'll go ahead and start trying to set up for Swords Dance now. I didn't want to do it on the Ninetales because I need to get the Pokemon that can confuse me out of there. And all Rapidash has that's super effective is Fire Spin, and I'm not too worried about Fire Spin. So with 2 setups of Swords Dance, we can one-shot the Arcanine, and we can get past Blaine. We've got 7 gym badges under our belt. We just need to take on and gather the Earth badge from Giovanni. Shouldn't be difficult. The only Pokemon I could really see us having any issue with is his Rhydon. We are weak to rock type moves, and Rock Slide is super effective. We don't have submission on our set, even though we could. I could have got submission for Rhydon, but a little bit of a misplay on my part. You know, I don't know. I make a lot of these misplays, and then I like dock the Pokemon for it. But in this case, I don't think it would make a difference. Really, I don't think it would make a difference, and you'll see why later on. But we're going to go ahead and set up with Swords Dance. Ground type moves are resisted by the Bug type, so I'm going to take advantage and set up with Swords Dance. And Dugtrio is going to do absolutely nothing. So we set up all the way to +6, and we can just sweep his team minus Rhydon. Obviously, Rhydon is extremely bulky and tanky, and Body Slam is resisted. So even with our boosted attack, it's still not going to be enough. We'll have to take him down over 2 turns. That'll be an easy win over Giovanni. And we now have all 8 gym badges. Not bad for Pinsir. Looking good. We are coming into the Elite Four. And really the only trainer that I am thinking we are going to struggle with is Agatha. As I mentioned towards the beginning of the video, we don't have anything that can really deal with Agatha. And Agatha's lead Gengar also does not have any moves that would be useful to mimic. So I don't really have anything good that I could mimic outside of maybe, you know, Wing Attack from Golbat. But it's like, is that even worth it? And then she's got a ton of status condition moves, Confusion. She can use Lick and Paralyze. There's just so much that Agatha has, and it's just like, why does Pinsir not get access to anything that would be helpful in that fight? It's truly unfortunate. But what can you do? We're just gonna have to try to muscle through Agatha with Seismic Toss and good luck. But let's come into the Elite Four. Let's challenge Lorelei. Okay, now we're starting off against this Dugong. We're just going to set up with Swords Dance. Hope we don't get those attack drops from Aurora Beam. We do not. We set up to +4. It's not going to be quite enough for Cloyster, and we are going to get confused. Now, that's one of the things that we're worried about playing Pinsir, because we're setting up with Swords Dance, so getting confused. When we hit ourselves, we do increased damage. So it's a little bit unfortunate. We take ourselves out on that first attempt there. We're going to go back in. I'm actually going to damage Dugong and try to get it to use Rest so that I can get free setup like I do here. And then now I don't have to worry about the Aurora Beam dropping my attack whatsoever. And then I get a critical hit, but Supersonic is going to miss, luckily enough for us. So now we essentially just continue and sweep up Lorelei's team now that we're set up to +6. And that will take her down. Give us 45 points for that. Bruno, I have taught submission, so now I'm going to set up with Swords Dance. Onyx really can't do anything to me. Could go for Rock Slide, but it's not doing that. So I'm going to set up all the way to +6, and I think I actually misclicked there. But we're going to go for submission. That's going to take it down. We'll take the recoil. Body Slam for everybody who's not a rock type. I can't wait to fix Bruno's team, too. I don't know why he has Onyx on his team. 2 of them, to say less, because he could have Primeape and Poliwrath, but... Anyway, that'll get fixed in my hardcore solo challenge. But that'll take care of Bruno into Agatha. Now, this is going to be the hard part. Because I end up getting paralyzed, I end up getting confused, and Gengar can just heal and use Substitute, and it's really annoying. Now, granted, I'm coming in on first attempt at level 55, so I do have some room to increase my level, as well as the damage that Seismic Toss deals. Not that 5 damage is really going to make a huge difference in the grand scheme. But, you know, as some people like to say, every little bit counts. So, but yeah, like I said, there's really nothing to mimic here. The ghost type, I believe Lick is categorized as special. So Lick would, even if it's super effective against our ghost types, it's not going to do anything really. And so... But actually, that might not be true. And then, because I think in the early generations, Lick is actually categorized as physical. Nevertheless, it has really bad power and it's not same type. So even with max setup, it's not going to do a lot of damage. So that's not worth it. The only thing that would be worth mimicking is Wing Attack from Golbat. But that only has 35 base power. So it's also not worth it. So you might as well just go with Seismic Toss, because Seismic Toss is going to do more damage than all the other attacks. So as you can see, this is kind of a slog. I'm just kind of having to wait until I just get lucky and can bypass all the status condition moves that she's throwing at me. Now, it's a good thing that Seismic Toss has the amount of PP that it has, because, I mean, I would struggle otherwise. So you see, I'm trying to even set up with Swords Dance just so that really only I can one-shot the Golbat and the Arbok. That's really the only Pokemon that could get one-shot in this, you know, on this team. So is it really worth setting up +6? I mean, maybe for the boosts and all the other stats, perhaps. But really the only defensive stat that would matter is special. So I don't know, the boost from Swords Dance that it's giving the special, it may not be that much extra, but we do finally get past Agatha with a lot of luck. Into Lance, we are going to set up Swords Dance. We've got Hyper Beam instead of Submission. Submission is no longer needed. It doesn't do anything at this point in the game. There's no Pokemon outside of maybe Cloyster that are going to be weak to fighting type moves. Not only that, it's 80% accurate, and you take recoil from it, so not worth it. We're going to give Hyper Beam because we can get some massive gains off of Swords Dance and Hyper Beam, and that will get us through Lance at level 59. Now, coming into the champion, recapping the Elite Four, we got 45 points on Lorelei, 45 points on Bruno, 35 points on Agatha. It was an extremely lucky fight, 45 points on Lance. And now we just have the champion remaining. So the set we have here is the set that I think is all we need to take care of it. Everybody's affected by the moves that I have on my set. So really all I need to do is set up with Swords Dance, and I can do that on the Sandslash because Poison is weak to Bug and Sandslash is going to go for Poison Sting. I may have worded that wrong. Bug is weak to Poison if I said Poison was weak to Bug. I don't know. I may have said that wrong. But anyway, as you can see, Sandslash is just going to go for Poison Sting because it thinks it's super effective. So I'm not going to take a bunch of damage from it. And I'm also not going to get poisoned. So we're in a really good spot here. Set up to +6. Hyper Beam will take down Exeggutor. We're going to go Body Slam for everybody else just to keep it consistent. And that will do it for the champion. Just a max setup Swords Dance. That's how you clear the champion. So we complete the game at level 60 with Pinsir. Really good. So taking a look at all of its bonus points, we've got 6 for coverage, We're only hitting 3 types for super effective damage. So that'll give us 6 points, minus 6 points for weaknesses. That'll cancel each other out. And then another plus 6 for resistances, 5 for finish level, and 13 for base stats. That'll give us a total of 523 out of 583, just barely missing that A tier finish with a score of 89.71. Filtering over for 151, Pinsir. What? Sorry, I forget what number Pinsir is. Here he is. Pinsir. So when we filter over, we get 18 bonus points. But base stat total points, I'm sorry. When you filter over for 121, so we get a score of 528 out of 583. That will slot Pinsir just into the A tier with a score of 90.57. And it will get that A tier finish amongst all 151 Pokemon. Next on the list is Raticate. I think Raticate will do pretty good. It's got good coverage moves. I think it has a chance to get a really good placement. I think Pinsir did good despite the fact that it doesn't get very much access. But it gets access to Swords Dance. And most of the game is, you can hit most of the game with normal type moves. So as long as you can set up a Swords Dance, you're going to hit pretty hard. So stay tuned for Raticate. That's coming up next. And until then, I'll see y'all next time.